Have you ever had one of those mornings where you wake up, shuffle to the bathroom, grab your cup of coffee, and before you know it, the whole morning's gone, and you're still not feeling quite right? Maybe your joints are a little stiff, your energy feels off, or your mind's just a bit foggy. If that sounds familiar, you're definitely not alone. And if you're over 70, those small missteps in your morning routine can quietly snowball into bigger issues over time. The truth is, our bodies change as we age, but unfortunately, most of us are still trying to run the same operating system we used when we were 40 or 50. And let me tell you, it doesn't quite work the same way anymore. I've seen it with friends, family, and even myself. The good news? With just a few simple shifts in how you start your day, you can avoid some surprisingly dangerous habits and replace them with healthier ones that leave you feeling stronger, clearer, and more in control. So, in this video, we're going to talk about 4 dangerous morning mistakes people over 70 often make, without even realizing it. And more importantly, I'll show you how to avoid them with easy, actionable changes you can start tomorrow. One of these might even surprise you. It's something almost everyone does first thing when they wake up. Before we keep going, I'd love your help with something. If you're enjoying this video so far, comment Y below. If not, comment N. It helps me know what's working and what to improve. And don't forget to hit subscribe if you haven't yet. Now let's dive deeper. Let's start with the first mistake, getting out of bed too quickly. Now I know this sounds so minor, right? You wake up, maybe you slept well, and the first instinct is to sit up, swing your legs over the side, and start the day. But here's the thing, as we age, our blood pressure regulation changes. Something called orthostatic hypotension becomes more common. That's when your blood pressure drops suddenly as you go from lying down to sitting or standing. And that drop can cause dizziness, blurry vision, or even a fall. According to a study published in the Journal of Gerontology, nearly 20% of adults over 70 experience some form of orthostatic hypotension, often without even realizing it. That means your morning could start with a dangerous wobble, or worse, a trip to the emergency room after a fall. I remember a neighbor of mine, Carol, who's in her early 70s and sharp as a tack. But one morning, she jumped out of bed to answer the phone and fainted right there on the carpet. Turned out it was a blood pressure drop, and the fall led to a fractured wrist. Thankfully, she recovered well, but it could have been avoided with a little more care in that first moment of the day. So, what should you do instead? The trick is to wake up slowly and gently. When your eyes first open, take a few minutes to lie still. Stretch out your arms and legs, roll your ankles, take a few deep breaths. Then sit up slowly, maybe let your legs dangle off the side of the bed for 30 seconds or so before standing. It's a small change, but it gives your body time to adjust and stabilize. Some people even keep a glass of water by the bed and sip a little before rising. Staying hydrated helps your blood volume and your blood pressure stay in a healthy range. Especially in the morning, when you've just gone 6 to 8 hours without a drop of water, your system is already on the dry side. Which brings us to something else, dehydration in the morning. We'll talk more about that in a bit, because it ties into another major mistake people make that can mess with everything from your energy levels to your digestion. But for now, just remember, your bed-to-floor transition should be as graceful and mindful as possible. Think of it like a dance with your body, don't rush it. Another simple trick I like to share is this. Try planting your feet firmly on the floor when you do stand up and take 1 or 2 grounding breaths before you walk. It centers your body and mind, especially if you tend to feel off balance first thing in the morning. I've started doing this myself, and honestly, it gives me a better start than any coffee ever has. The body over 70 is a masterpiece of resilience, but it needs a little more warming up in the mornings than it used to. If you think about it like starting a classic car after it's been sitting overnight, you wouldn't just floor the gas and go, right? You'd let it idle, warm up, and then ease into gear. And speaking of idling, that leads us to another common mistake, skipping morning movement altogether. But before we go there, I want to ask, have you ever noticed how stiff your joints feel if you sit too long in the morning, or how your mood seems stuck in low gear if you don't move a little? That's not a coincidence, and it's exactly what we're going to explore next. Before we begin, I want to make one thing clear. This video is for informational purposes only and is based on publicly available research. Everyone's health is different, So always consult your doctor or a qualified healthcare provider before making any changes to your lifestyle, diet, or exercise routine. Scientific knowledge is always evolving, and what works for one person may not work for another. Now back to where we left off. We talked about how getting out of bed too quickly can lead to sudden drops in blood pressure and dangerous falls. But what about the next big mistake? This one might sound harmless, until you realize just how much it's affecting your day. Mistake number 2, skipping morning movement. Now I'm not saying you need to do jumping jacks or go run a mile as soon as you wake up, no way. But skipping movement altogether, especially as you get older, can set the tone for sluggish joints, foggy thinking, and a stiff, achy body all day long. See, during sleep, our muscles and joints aren't really moving. Blood flow slows down. That stiffness you feel when you first wake up. It's not just getting older. It's your body saying, hey, I need a little help waking up too. Even light movement in the morning can make a huge difference. A study from the National Institute on Aging showed that older adults who incorporated just 10 minutes of gentle stretching or walking in the morning experienced better mobility, sharper mental focus, and even improved mood throughout the day. I know a gentleman named Richard, who's 74. For years, he'd roll out of bed, head straight to the recliner, and flip on the morning news. He figured taking it easy was the smart way to go. But he told me he started feeling more tired, more stiff, and even a little down as the weeks went by. Then his doctor suggested something simple. Do a few shoulder rolls, march in place for a minute or two, and walk the hallway before sitting down. At first, Richard laughed it off, but eventually he gave it a shot, and within just a week, he felt lighter. His mood lifted, and he even joked that his dog was looking at him like, "Who are you, and what have you done with my sleepy human? You don't need a gym. You don't even need workout clothes. Try standing by your bed and doing 10 gentle arm circles, or walk the length of your house once or twice while breathing deeply. If it's safe, step outside for some fresh air and natural light. This can help reset your internal clock and even boost your mood thanks to a little sunlight-produced vitamin D." Speaking of energy and how you feel throughout the day, that brings us to mistake number 3, skipping water in the morning. Now this one is sneaky because it's so easy to overlook. Most people wake up and go straight for the coffee. Trust me, I've been there. That warm cup feels like a hug for your soul. But the problem is, after 6 to 8 hours of sleep, your body is already mildly dehydrated. And starting your day with coffee, which is a diuretic, actually pulls more water from your system. And the effects? They show up fast: fatigue, dizziness, slower digestion, and even brain fog. According to research from the Mayo Clinic, even mild dehydration can impact cognitive function and increase the risk of falls in older adults. That's why one of the simplest, most powerful things you can do is this. Drink a full glass of water within 30 minutes of waking up. Bonus points if you add a tiny pinch of sea salt or a squeeze of lemon. It helps with electrolyte balance and gets your digestion ready for the day. I like to keep a glass of water on my nightstand. That way, it's the first thing I see in the morning, and I'm less likely to forget. And it makes a bigger difference than I ever expected. I'm more alert, my digestion's better, and I don't feel that dragging my feet feeling anymore. There's another reason water is so vital in the morning. It helps flush out toxins that build up overnight. Your kidneys and liver are hard at work while you sleep, and when you hydrate first thing, you're giving your body the fuel it needs to finish that job and clear the slate for the day. Plus, for anyone managing things like high blood pressure or joint inflammation, hydration plays a key role in keeping everything working smoothly. Your joints need fluid to stay cushioned, and your brain needs it to stay sharp. So if your morning routine has been coffee first, everything else later, consider flipping that script. Water first, then your beloved brew. And if you're someone who doesn't like the taste of plain water, try herbal tea, warm lemon water, or infusing your glass with cucumber or mint. Make it enjoyable. After all, this is about taking care of you, not punishing yourself with another should. Now, we've already covered some powerful shifts, getting out of bed more gently, moving a little, and staying hydrated. But perhaps the most surprising mistake is still ahead, and it has everything to do with what we don't feed our brains in the morning. And no, I'm not talking about breakfast food just yet. I'm talking about mental nutrition. That's right. What we allow into our minds first thing in the morning can shape our entire day. And so many people over 70 fall into a quiet trap without even knowing it. But don't worry, we're diving into that next. Let's pick up right where we left off, talking about one of the most overlooked morning mistakes, especially for folks over 70. It's not about the body this time, it's about the mind. And this one can shape your entire mood, energy, and even your motivation for the rest of the day. Mistake number 4, feeding your brain negativity first thing in the morning. Now, I want to be careful here because we all have our routines. Maybe you wake up, turn on the news, check your phone, or scroll through social media. It's natural, we're curious, and we want to feel connected. But here's the thing, the brain, especially in the early hours, is extra impressionable. And when the first thing it absorbs is stress, like bad news, financial worries, or the latest crisis, you're basically setting the tone for tension before your feet even touch the floor. There's actually science behind this. Studies out of Penn State and the University of California show that people who consume negative content in the morning, whether it's the news or social media, are more likely to report anxiety, irritability, and a drop in productivity throughout the day. And the effects can linger longer than you think. I once worked with a retired teacher named Lila, smart, witty, and full of life. But she told me she'd start her day by reading through online news headlines while still in bed, and she'd feel heavy before even brushing her teeth. It's like I've already lived through a full day of stress before breakfast, she told me. Once she realized what was happening, she made a change. Instead of reaching for her phone, she started reaching for a little notepad and jotting down 3 things she was looking forward to that day. Simple things, a walk outside, a call with her daughter, a new recipe she wanted to try. Within a week, she felt more energized. Her words, not mine. It feels like my heart got lighter. What you focus on, especially in the first hour of your day, shapes your brain chemistry. It's a bit like tuning a radio. What station are you setting for the day ahead? And that doesn't mean you need to avoid the news altogether. Just delay it. Give yourself a chance to ground into your own life first. Maybe start your day with a calming song, a few quiet breaths, or even a small gratitude ritual. It can be as quick as saying to yourself, "Today, I'm thankful for my warm bed and the sunshine coming through the window." I've even known people who put a sticky note on their alarm clock or mirror with a positive phrase like, "Start with peace," or "Choose calm." Little things like that help reset the tone of the day. And over time, they change how we see the world, not just how we respond to it. And if you're someone who struggles with anxious thoughts or low motivation in the morning, that's totally okay. It doesn't mean something's wrong with you. It means your brain might just need a new kind of morning fuel. Positive input, even small doses, helps regulate your mood and gives your nervous system a much calmer start. Now, some people tell me, "Well, I've been doing the same routine for years. Is it too late to change?" Absolutely not. That's the beauty of this season of life. You finally get to rewrite your mornings on your terms. But change can still be hard, especially if the mornings have become a bit of a mental or emotional battle. So here's what I always suggest. Start with one small win. Maybe that's waking up 5 minutes earlier to stretch. Maybe it's sipping your water before the coffee. Or maybe it's just sitting quietly for a moment before switching on the outside world. These micro shifts can build momentum faster than you'd think. One gentle change creates a ripple. Before long, your mornings begin to feel like something you look forward to, rather than just another chore to get through. And here's something else to keep in mind. You don't have to do this alone. If you live with a partner, get them involved. Invite a friend to start a morning check-in where you text each other something positive. Or start a small morning movement group, just a walk around the block with a neighbor. That light social interaction in the morning is also tremendous for cognitive health, especially after 70. In fact, a study published in the journal Age and Aging found that older adults who regularly engaged in brief morning conversations, even just 10 minutes, had sharper memory and improved mood compared to those who spent their mornings alone and silent. So whether it's a phone call, a text, or a wave to the mail carrier, find little ways to spark connection. It wakes up more than just your body, it awakens your spirit. Now, by now we've covered a lot. You've learned how something as simple as how you get out of bed, whether you move, what you drink, and what you think can completely change how you feel throughout the day. And trust me, none of these are about perfection. They're about awareness, about having the power to choose, because that's the part that gets better with age. You've earned this wisdom, and now you can apply it to each new morning like a fresh start. In the next section, we're going to tie it all together. I'll share some final takeaways, a few simple things you can start doing tomorrow, and one last scientific gem that stayed with me for years. It's all about the power of small changes, done consistently, and how they lead to big transformation at any age. So we've taken a good look at some of the most common, but often unnoticed, morning habits that can quietly drain your energy, affect your health, and make your days feel harder than they need to be. But here's the good news. Each one of these mistakes is 100% fixable, and often with just a small shift in how you start your day. Let's quickly revisit what we've learned, because sometimes hearing it again helps it really sink in. First, we talked about rushing out of bed too quickly. It might seem like a small thing, but when you're over 70, sudden movement can cause a drop in blood pressure that leads to dizziness or even a fall. Just giving yourself a moment to sit on the edge of the bed, breathe, and gently roll your shoulders or ankles can give your body the time it needs to wake up safely. Then we looked at the importance of morning movement, even if it's just a few minutes. A simple walk around your home or some light stretches can increase circulation, loosen stiff joints, and wake up your brain. It's not about intensity, it's about intention. Next, we covered how easy it is to overlook hydration first thing in the morning. Reaching for water before your coffee can clear mental fog, support digestion, and reduce fatigue. Your body does a lot of work overnight, and a glass of water helps flush out toxins and start your systems up again. And finally, we dove into the power of mental nutrition, being mindful of what you feed your brain when you wake up. Starting your day with gratitude, peaceful thoughts, or even a bit of laughter can shift your mindset and help you face the day with strength and positivity. Avoid jumping straight into the news or social media spiral until you've had a moment to anchor yourself. Now, I know what some people might be thinking. This all sounds nice, but I've had my habits for decades. Can I really change now? My answer is absolutely yes. You see, one of the most beautiful things about getting older is the freedom to rewrite your days. You've done the hard stuff. You've raised families, built careers, cared for others. And now it's your turn to take care of you, mind, body, and spirit. And change doesn't have to mean upheaval. It can be soft and gentle. It can look like this: setting a reminder to drink a glass of water before your coffee, putting a sticky note on your bathroom mirror that says slow down, taking 3 minutes to do a few arm circles or gentle leg lifts while waiting for the kettle to boil, jotting down one thing you're grateful for before picking up your phone. These aren't grand gestures, but they are powerful. They remind your body and brain that you matter, that your mornings are worth protecting and honoring. And here's something else to consider. Your morning is your message to yourself. Are you telling yourself, I'm rushed, I'm behind, I'm overwhelmed? Or are you telling yourself, I deserve peace, I deserve care, I deserve to move through this day with ease? That one shift in message can create a ripple effect through your entire day. In fact, neuroscience shows that what we repeatedly do in the morning becomes habit much faster than at any other time of day. That's because the brain is more open and less distracted in those early hours, meaning it's a prime time for positive change. Researchers at MIT and Harvard have even found that small habits built in the morning are more likely to stick over time than habits formed later in the day. So if you're going to add something new to your life, something healthy, nourishing, energizing, do it in the morning. And if you mess up, that's okay. This isn't about perfection. It's about progress. We're not aiming for flawless mornings. We're aiming for mornings that feel a little more like you. Grounded, intentional, joyful, even in the quiet moments. I'll leave you with one last story. This one from a woman named Rosa, who's 82. She used to call her mornings chaos in slippers. She'd wake up anxious, skip breakfast, and scroll the news while sipping lukewarm coffee. She felt scattered, like she could never catch up with herself. Then she started doing something simple. Before getting out of bed, she placed both hands over her heart and said aloud, "This day is mine." That's it. Just one sentence. Now, she says her mornings feel sacred. She still watches the news. She still drinks her coffee. But she does it on her own terms, with a sense of calm and control she thought had been lost with age. So let me ask you this. What's one small thing you can do tomorrow morning that your future self will thank you for? Is it drinking water first? Moving for 5 minutes? Smiling at yourself in the mirror? Whatever it is, start there. Let that be your signal to the day. I'm here, I'm present, and I'm taking care of myself. We'd really love to hear from you. If you have any suggestions for future topics or questions you want answered, write to us in the comments below. We're here to help, and your input could inspire our next video. And if you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss out on more practical tips for healthy aging. Here's to living your best life at any age. You've got the wisdom, the strength, and now the tools. Go make tomorrow morning one to be proud of.